One of our economic development strategies in Elkin focuses on promoting Elkin as a trail town and promoting an excellent quality of life. Downtown plays a pivotal role by telling the story with trail images and designs through our downtown streets. The slogan, "All trails lead to Elkin," or "Find Your Trail," are now being added to our marketing campaign, materials, internet, and website, and a recurring theme expressing that no matter your interest, Elkin will have a trail for your journey. Well, I'm all about visualizing images, so I will have tons of slides to show you. If you want me to stop and talk about something in particular, just raise your hand and I'll stop, but I'm going to try and go quickly through these. So this is a list of all the trails that we have in our downtown that either start in downtown, intersect in downtown, and they are local, regional, and national on a national level. A regional initiative that we worked with and created was the trail opportunities for the Yadkin Valley Heritage Corridor. So it includes 4 different counties throughout the region that are tied to the Yadkin River and or the Blue Ridge Mountain Trail. So one of the things in our downtown is our new music theater that just opened, and that is on the Blue Ridge Music Trail. We have numerous murals in our downtown, and they're associated with the Appalachian Mural Trail, and our brochure downtown talks about a mural hike, not a mural walk. The south side of our downtown, the Yadkin River borders that, and so that is a blue water trail. And so we have a downtown boat ramp, and next to the boat ramp is a primitive campsite for paddlers. This is a typical morning on a weekend. We see a bunch of people just launching in Elkin, or they'll launch a little bit west of us in Rhonda and have about a 7-mile journey down the river to Elkin if they want a nice 3-hour float. We also capitalize on birding trails along our trails because we have over 130 different bird species that have been identified along our trails, so that brings in a lot of other people that are interested in birding, believe it or not. My favorite trail is the Surrey Sonker Trail, and our restaurants downtown cooperate with that. Surrey is the county that we're in, and the Sonker is very similar to a fruit cobbler, and so we have a lot of people that come to our county now for Sonkers. See, you gotta come and find out. A lot of foodies like that. We also have a Daniel Boone trail marker in our downtown. It was slated to be there in 1920, but it never got installed, so our trails group had that installed. Because the north-south highway that goes through our downtown used to be an Indian trail, and which Daniel Boone would have traveled when heading to Virginia. We also are part of the Civil War trail, and we installed our trails group installed a history trail that actually begins in downtown, and then it takes you along our town trails, and it tells the story of the mills and the factories that were built along the Big Elkin Creek, which goes north. It goes from north to south into the Yadkin River, and that river borders our west end of downtown. And along that trail was the Over Mountain Victory Trail. So our park, which is about a 1/4 mile north of downtown, and it's only a block away for the entrance, was a mustering field and the easternmost terminus of the Over Mountain Victory Trail. So that trail comes down and intersects our main street, and so we have a lot of reenactors and events that we promote in that area for downtown as a part of it, and that makes us a part of the National Park Service in our downtown. Okay, so the big trail that we're really excited about, though, is our E&A trail. That is our town trail. Of course, because we have the rail that came through from 1890 to 1911 when the first train came into town. You can see that up in the corner there on July 4th. That was a big deal for Elkin because it brought, of course, lots of commerce to the area. And so when that was completed, they decided to do a northbound spur that would go up eventually into Roaring Gap, Sparta, and West Jefferson. But by 1930, that project ended because that was about the same time when trucks and cars became available to the average citizen. So that project ended, and all the rail that was laid up almost to Roaring Gap probably was taken up when World War II came along and they needed the metal. So all that became what this was right here. And so all along our beautiful river that we had, the Big Elkin Creek, we had ruins, and we had, you can see the old factory foundations that were still there. And it was just, the only thing that you could walk along was a very skinny little Boy Scout trail that somebody had done for, you could maybe walk about 5 minutes on, and that was about it. So this was our park, which is right next to our downtown, and it just had a walking loop. So, you know, for a couple decades, people just walked in loops, and they were very happy walking in circles. But then we had a new group that came, that was created called the Elkin Valley Trails Association, and it was basically made up of a lot of retired men who loved to go out hiking. So they looked at our downtown and they said, you know what we need to do? We're going to create a trail system from downtown and link downtown to Stone Mountain State Park. And that is the closest state park that's just north of us. By car, you can get there within 25 minutes. But it's about 22 miles, I think, walking distance. And so this became a huge community support. We had church groups, we had all school groups, even schools that aren't even in Elkin were wanting to be part of it. We even have a business downtown that employs numerous millennials, and they love to do trail volunteer day, and they help blazing trails. And so this is kind of what our trails look like now. You can see in the distance there is our first bridge that went up about, I guess it was about 3 years ago. But the trail is busy like this. People were saying, who on earth is going to go on that trail all the time? But it's busy. This is our second bridge that went up about a year and a half ago. And then someone who was one of the volunteers said, you know, I love to mountain bike. And we had hillsides along the trail, so he helped install 5 miles of mountain bike trails that you can access right from our town trail. That's a view from up above on the hillside. It's beautiful. It's another view in the fall, and then in the winter we also have people who go out on the trails and do cross-country skiing. So it's really used all year round. People love it. So I'm going to kind of go quickly through this part because these were our ways to get people in who are interested in the trails, and so some of the fundraising that the trails did brought in hundreds of new people to the area, and we're hoping when they do this that they'll also want to move there. But this is the Insane Train. It started off as a road race, but now they're gonna add a 25K onto it this year because it's becoming so popular. Because we're in wine country, we work a lot together with the vineyards, and they have a lot of 5Ks. And this is an event for cyclists who we have a wine festival every May at the downtown and the next door park. It's all within that whole region, and so they have riders that come out in the morning to do the cycling on our trails throughout town and through the region, and then they can go free to the wine festival. So we kind of piggyback events together on the same day. And because of our trails and good cycling areas, we're also a Cycle NC town, and we're part of the Surrey Scenic Bikeways. So all throughout Surrey, they've dedicated streets that are pretty and not so much safe because it's all on highway, but they are beautiful bikeways for everybody to come out. So we have a lot of cyclists that come into downtown. And because of all this, we've been very we've connected a lot with the North Carolina Mountains to Sea Trail, and we've been very close with them. And in the last 2 years, because of our trail grooming and because they saw how we wanted to connect Stone Mountain State Park to downtown Elkin and beyond, they redirected their Mountains to Sea Trail. Used to go above Elkin, and now it goes directly down into downtown Elkin, and the downtown Main Street is part of the Mountains to Sea Trail. So we had an annual conference 2 years in a row, the last 2 years in Elkin. And we had a full 3 days of events that we scheduled for people, and we kept them really super busy, and they loved it. And we even had people going to the realtors and asking about moving there. So not only did it just bring people there who love trails and will learn about it, and we had people that really wanted to move there. So here's the 2 state parks that we are in between. We're in between Stone Mountain State Park, which is north of us, and then Pilot Mountain State Park, which is to the east of us. And this is the MST Trail that you can see now. Elkin directs right down into Elkin, and the black part of the trail are all roads, and it used to be all black. For a very, very little part was red, and so those red areas that are below can tell which one is Stone Mountain, but it's the one up in the upper left corner. So besides those red trails in there, all the other red trails are the trails that our volunteer group has been grooming, from roads to woods. And you can see that Elkin is all red through there, and our plan is to continue once all the trails are red from Stone Mountain State Park to the downtown. Then they're starting trails from downtown Elkin to go off-road all the way to Pilot Mountain State Park. That includes trails along the river. This is a mural in our downtown, and this was a public-private partnership that we did with the wineries, and to show that we're the center of a wine region, but it also shows the Stone Mountain State Park, and I can barely see it, but there's a little Pilot Mountain in the distance, because you can see it from Elkin, actually, believe it or not, if you're up on Main Street, up on the hill in the residential area. This is one of our favorite t-shirts that everybody loves to buy, and it also shows that Elkin's in between the two state parks and on the Mountains to Sea Trail. We have these little trail signs that bring the hikers in from Stone Mountain all the way down into downtown. This is our Trail Town mural that we have installed downtown, and at the close-up you can see it has a little legend. It shows all the trails converging into the downtown. We installed trail tree signs in our downtown, and our pedestrian wayfinding copies that. It's just like an extension of that, so you have little trail markers for the shops in downtown as well. And then the banner, also, we have some banners that say Explore Trails to promote. That's one of the things that you can do when you come to Elkin. On our street lights, you see that there's a parking sign on that one street lamp post there, but further down below that, there's a little white dot. That is the trail marker for the Mountains to Sea Trail, so that shows hikers that they're on the right path. And if you're not so trail savvy, then we also have the MST sprayed on the sidewalk so people can understand that we're part of the Mountains to Sea Trail. Our downtown art walks are not art walks, they're art hikes when we promote them. And we even will have a trail that will lead from downtown to the vineyards, which will be the Camino Divino on our trail. And so you'll be able to either walk or ride your bike up to the vineyards from downtown and then come back after you're done imbibing and enjoying that. Our merchants downtown put Trail Friendly Town stickers on their doors. And then the town itself has invested in a renovation of an old lumberyard building, and it's going to be our town heritage and trail center, which will include the National Park Service, and we'll have information about the region and vineyards, and have the community college will have heritage classes there. But we also have a stop off for hikers when they come into town. We have lockers and showers there for them to freshen up, because it'll be days since they've seen civilization by the time they get to downtown Elkin. So it'll be a place for them to stop and kind of just hang out and have some food, normal food at the restaurants, and just enjoy themselves without having to carry their backpack around with them. And then we have a new group that started called Explore Elkin, and they are kind of what we partner with for our events, but they also promote community engagement, and we have a family flotilla that's coming up August 25th. And last time that they did that, we had probably about 300 participants, and we have now 6 outfitters that are in our that support our area. We also do hikes, and you can see the compass is there. I'm almost done. And quickly, this is just the partnerships that have developed over our trails and our association with trails. You can see this, that will be where our future river walk will go along, starting in the downtown. We'll have a 3rd bridge and a suspension bridge being added soon to our trail system. The MST hikers come in on a continual basis, and the last one that came in a few weeks ago, she stayed for an entire week because she had so much fun there. And this is what I love about it too. All these new businesses are being created because of the trails. We not only have RV parks opening in Elkin and cabins in the vineyards that are along the trails. We have primitive campsites. We also have on Main Street, we have VRBOs that are opening up around the downtown to support anything to do with staying in the downtown for the hikers. And this is a future Carter Falls that will be opening, is actually open now for accessibility along the MST trail, which was provided by an Elkin resident who owned the property, and he's worked with the state to make that a part of the MST. So anyway, last thing I wanted to mention was that UNCTV has done numerous, they've come up and done numerous segments on our trail system. So if you see this, that is one that you might want to look at it on YouTube. It's an early video, but it does explain and show a lot of things that we do offer on our trails. And then the last thing I wanted to say is I hope you all come to NC Trail Days. This is our group that deals directly with the trails. Because we've had the MST conference there the last 2 years, this is what we feel we're going to be able to tackle and take on as our own from now on. So our first trail days will be next summer, and our hope is to become like Damascus, where we can encourage thousands of people to come to Elkin and learn about our trails and experience our quality of life. Thank you.